By about an 8-hour bus drive, and Chillicothe and Quincy both have won the most regular season games throughout the league's history, and they have also both won 3 Prospect League championships, and now they meet here at QU Stadium for the first of a 3-game set to determine who will be the outright leader in championships in this Prospect League history. My name is Patrick McColl, joining you at the Rock Pile in the Gem City QU Baseball Stadium for what could be one of the final games here in this 2023 season, a best of 3 to determine the champion of this 17-team league. And getting right into this one, it's been a different path for both these teams. Chillicothe just outright dominant throughout the year, 43-17. That's why they get home field advantage, can play 2, at least 1, obviously, with game 2 back at home. Meanwhile, Quincy's 33-26, so they've won twice on the road to get here. They've fared better at home, are 17-12 at home. Chillicothe 18-10 away. And these two giants are going to go right up against each other. Chillicothe coming in with the league's best offense by batting average. Quincy's been getting it together with a pitching staff, but one of the premier teams in home runs, and the matchup is going to be an exciting one at that. Again, the Quincy Gems have won 3 times, but the Paint's much more recent success. Won it last year, they're the defending champions at that. They've also won 2 of the last 3, one in 2019. And there's a lot to look forward to in this matchup as we'll quickly go through tonight's lineups and give you a little bit about what these two teams did to get here. For the visiting Chillicothe Paints, who will bat first, we'll see Tyler Shaneyfeld play center field and bat first. Cameron Bowen, the shortstop tonight, batting second. Tim Moore, the left fielder, he'll bat third. Victor Figueroa is going to be the first baseman, batting cleanup. Bowen Wilson, the third baseman, batting fifth. CJ Dean will play in right field and bat sixth. Jimmy Nugent is the DH and going to bat seventh. Braden White catching, batting eighth. And rounding out the order, CJ Carmichael is the second baseman and grabbing a bat here to bat ninth for the Chillicothe Paints, who come out in their road dark blue jerseys with Chillicothe across the chest, the red caps and blue bills, gray pants selection. Meanwhile, the Gems have the white caps, the white Gems across the chest, jerseys and pants, as well as a shorter introduction is given out here tonight for the Prospect League Championship Series. Of course, a special event after a long season, both these teams winning their conference to get here, as we look to the Quincy Gems and what they bring out in the batting order tonight. Jack Zebig going to be the shortstop, batting first. Jimmy Koza, the second baseman, who will hit second. Vidston, the DH, hitting third. Lucas Luce will play third and bat cleanup. He leads the league in home runs. Jason Andujar is the right fielder, batting fifth. The man and batting behind him, Tristan Minnie, first baseman. Joe Siervo, center fielder, will bat seventh. Otto Jones going to catch and hit eighth, while Harry Oden rounds out the order, playing in left field. And on the pitching mound, we got a special matchup indeed, as two teams that have figured it out. Chillicothe been a little bit more consistent as far as the pitching goes throughout the year, but hardly a team in Quincy that hasn't gotten things better as the year has gone along. And to try and really lead them to prosperity, it'll be Davin Meyer on the mound. He did make 1 prior appearance this postseason, went 2 innings pitched on the road at Clinton. This is, of course, the starter for the Quincy Gems, a right-handed pitcher from Culver Stockton. At 6 feet tall, 180, a sophomore who bats and throws right. 2.25 ERA throughout the regular season in 2 appearances. But again, his postseason performance much more meaningful to the line here at the Lumber Kings. Went 2 innings, no runs, no hits, no walks, or strikeouts. And so Meyer, who has not been really tagged for too much, only 2 earned runs, though he has started twice, is going to try and figure out this Paints lineup as we are soon to have the national anthem going. But on the other side of things for Chillicothe, it'll be Luke Walter, the starting pitcher from Otterbein. As a freshman, he had a 3.23 ERA, and Walter, though, comes in finishing the regular season with a 3.51 ERA. He had a 5-2 record in 10 appearances, has made no appearances, though, in the postseason so far. 48 2/3 innings pitched, been a dominant guy at that. Keeping hitters in the ballpark, too. Only 3 home runs allowed as the Gems have the hype video playing out there on the right center field wall. Walter, though, an Ohio native at 6'2", 200, a freshman. His last start out, though, in the regular season, he was against Champion City at home on August the 30, went 5 innings, allowing 3 runs. 2 of those were earned, 3 hits, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. Pretty effective stuff, a quality start at that, and that's exactly what the Paints need in this first game to pick up the road victory. They would then have 2 chances at home in what's been one of the toughest places to play, especially for a Quincy team that would have to take an 8-hour bus ride to go and play. That'll be the case, though. Again, the Paints trying to capture their 4th Prospect League championship, have won the most games in the regular season up to this point of any Prospect League team, and the Gems are right behind them in that department and have also won 3 and had further success in the Central Illinois Collegiate League. So it's going to be a good one and a fun one to kick off the last weekend here of this Midwest Summer Baseball League. But to kind of bring you how these 2 teams got here, the Paints were able to play 2 at home, and by that they really had their foot under them and got a close victory, 7-6 versus Champion City in the opening round. And then after that, Springfield, who would travel all the way to Chillicothe, well, it wasn't exactly the performance of the Lucky Horseshoes, who were overall under 500 on the year, but not the performance they wanted to have. They lost 12-0 in 7. The Gems, though, just as close of a victory back in the divisional round to win the Great River Division. They won 6-5 at Clinton on August the 6th. A couple of nights after in Marion, Illinois, they defeated the Thrillbillies 13-6 on August the 8th. And so it's hardly been an easy postseason ride here for these Gems. They've really hit the baseball well, but again, the margins are going to be tight as they expect it to be a tough one to win. But to go back to that win against Thrillville, what did the Gems have working? Well, Noah Harbin would go 5 2/3. He only allowed 3 runs, although those were earned, 5 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Harbin did allow 2 home runs, but they were marginal errors, and with that, the hitting was very much all over the place for the Gems. They only, in the both games against Clinton and in the game against the Thrillbillies, had a maximum of 3 RBIs from 1 player. And again, they scored 13 versus Thrillville, so the offense was spread around. Against the Thrillbillies, RBIs from Zebig, Koza, Vidston, Luce, Andujar, Meny, Siervo, and Jones. Big part of the reason why Gems were able to win. Only 1 home run in that game, too, for Otto Jones. And going back to the game against Clinton, Luce, of course, had another home run, 2 RBIs. Siervo added 3, while Jones put another one across. And Zebig doubled, as well as Andujar and Siervo. And so if you're kind of recognizing a common path between these 2 teams that have had Prospect League success, a lot of the leaders on both sides are returners. And again, you got to mention this Paints team won it last year. Their same general manager is back with them, too, since 2009 when they came into the league. So if there's any indication of success in this championship league, where in 12 seasons, 3 of the championships have been won by the Gems, 3 of them by the Paints, and another 3 by the West Virginia Miners, who are now defunct. But the point is, you got to have an ability to have some consistency in a league that has such high turnover with all these players jumping around even in season. Many players have left the Paints, and the Gems, they still feel the brunt of it as well. But a lot of rosters that can try to find the best players and that can also develop them, obviously keeping in mind that this league is meant to do that first before anything. But Paints and Gems have done it a really special way above anyone else. And of course, this one set to kick off at about 6:35, but we'll probably push it a little past that as we have the special player introductions tonight. And why not? Again, it's the Prospect League Championship Series, the best of 3. First to 2 wins will take home the trophy in 2023. Paints are the defending champions in this category. And for the Paints, again, it's been a up and down ride in that first half. They actually didn't start off as well, but won 12 going into the end of the first half and then just kept on rolling. They really couldn't be stopped. And again, this offense hits .302 as a team that's 22 points above the next best team in the Cape Catfish in the Prospect League. So think about that. That's how big of a dichotomy between the best and the second best team in hitting is. 22 batting average points played out over 58 games. This Chillicothe Paints team is serious. They can really hit the baseball well, so it's going to be a challenge for this Gems squad. Meanwhile, the Paints got to try and keep Quincy in the ballpark here, where they've hit several home runs. And that'll, of course, what there is to be looking out for in this game. We'll real quick go through the defensive alignment when we come back and also get you a little bit more info on the starters. Again, the Paints and the Gems are going to tip off here very shortly after the initial break to start the Prospect League Championship Series. But as we are about to hit the national anthem, I want to give you a preview of what head coach for the Gems, Brad G., had to say to me for the last time. The pregame interview going to play over the airwaves of PLTV. What he had to say to me about this season and what this game means here for the Gems. Take a listen. Well, it's been a long ride, I know, since our first chat, but I'm just wondering, what did you think about those 2 playoff wins on the road?
It was good. You know, we played really good baseball. We've talked all year about getting leads early, and for us to come out and hit the way we did yesterday or a couple days ago was really nice to see, and our starting pitching has been good enough to get us here. So it's been good.
And last year against Alton was just like a heartbreaking loss at the very end in the 11th hour, but now you get against Thrillville, win by a significant margin. How much did that mean to you as somebody as a returner?
It was good. You know, for us, man, we just had to get over the hump a little bit and make sure that we took the next step, and we took the next step. So now the goal is to win today and then go see what's going to happen this weekend.
You had a lot of offensive contributors for the first 2 rounds. Actually, I don't think any player in either game had more than 3 RBIs, and you did score 13 against Thrillville, so you had everybody contributing. I mean, what did that mean for you to see as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to hit all year long. That's the one thing that we've been able to do. So it wasn't that surprising, but it's nice to see that they're still engaged and they're still locked in and they're still ready to go. So it was really nice to see. You know, we hit 1 through 9, and you know, for us to keep winning, that's what's going to have to happen again tonight.
And Harbin earned the quality start last time out, and then Schizler also went a few strong there in that game. So, off that, I'm wondering just how do you think this pitching can compete, especially since the relievers also did well? This is a team that hits 302.
For sure. They're going to have to throw strikes, man. We can't walk people. If we walk people, we're going to be in trouble. And again, we got another strike thrower. We're not going to blow the radar gun up with our starters, but we're going to throw strikes, and hopefully they hit into some outs early, and we can get a lead. So for us, we need Davin to be able to throw all of his pitches for strikes, and if he does that, we're going to have a chance.
And it just feels inevitable, but I want to ask, how many home runs do you have a prediction for Lucas Luce in this series? He's been on fire.
I would say at least 1 for sure. He's a really good player. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they pitch him a little bit differently just because where we're at and, what kind of game it is. But if he can stick to his game plan, I think he's going to be okay.
And do you expect the fans to be packing the stands?
I hope so. I really do. We're going to need them. It gives us a little bit more energy when they're here and they're loud and they're engaged. So I hope so.
And it's a long bus ride, I know, for the other game 2 and 3. But again, that's all I got. Thanks again for doing this last time of the year. Well, the national anthem is concluded, and the pregame interview with Brad G., head coach of the Quincy Gems, gone as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, a lot of good information. And that last thing, a home run prediction. He's only got 1 right now for Lucas Luce in this series. He could get more than that just in this game alone. It's always a bat to watch, and he's at third base. Mention that because we'll go ahead and get into the defensive alignment for the Quincy Gems. This is how it stacks out. Otto Jones going to do the catching. David Meyer is out there at the rubber, towing it and ready to fire to the plate. Over at first is Tristan Menny. Second base will be Jimmy Koza. Jack Ziebig at short. Lucas Luce getting the start at third. And from left to right in the outfield will be Harry Oden, Joe Ciervo, and Jason Andujar in right field. Son of Joaquin Andujar, the longtime Major League Baseball product. Well, with that out of the way, again, the Paints have really played well coming into this game, but both rosters got a scare in that division championship game. It'll be interesting to see if that is more the case here for the Paints, who were dominant 12-0 win against Springfield on August the 8th. Of course, that's a squad that has had Quincy's had their number throughout the year. So maybe not entirely surprising as the Lucky Horseshoes were able to put together a good second half to get in. But again, we're going to have Tyler Schoenefeld, center fielder, coming to the plate. Got to see what gives here as the all-time winningest Prospect League teams are going to go up against each other in a matchup to determine who has the most championships in Prospect League history with 3 apiece. Myers up there against Schoenefeld, the center fielder tonight for Chillicothe. Schoenefeld from Wilmington College will watch ball 1 outside, and that's how we're underway in this PLCS.